What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekly Nintendo Enthusiast Nintendo Podcast, which is actually called Class vs. Crass. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Lapine, and joining me as usual, Mr. Sean Spade is a Spade Long.
What up?
So today is a special episode because it's Monday, whereas we usually do this on Sunday. But we had EGLX, Enthusiast Gaming's very own gaming convention in Canada, and we rock the gaming world here. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So that's why we weren't here yesterday, but now we are here today on Monday because there's a lot to talk about. We have Nintendo's investor meeting, which was full of fun and shocking announcements.
Where was the fun? There was no fun.
You didn't feel it? You didn't feel the fun in your soul and your heart?
No. I
I
felt discouraged, and we'll get into that.
felt the rapies. So yeah, it wasn't that great of news, but we're still going to talk about it. That's our major headline today. As you can see, we're calling this podcast today Zelda delay. Where is it? Fair or foul? Which is actually Sean who came up with that. Props to him for contributing to the pre-production aspect of this podcast. Thank you.
I do what I can.
Um, yeah, yeah. So if this is your first time joining us here on Class vs. Crass, where have you been? This is episode 50. We have hit a new milestone. 50 times we've gone together and talked. Isn't that a crazy thought?
That is crazy.
It is. Doesn't quite add up though. We do this every week and we've been doing it for a year and a half and we're only at 50. So something we missed a few times there.
It's just a couple.
Just a few. Yeah, if you're just joining us, we usually go over there's a format. We have a 1 hour podcast all about Nintendo. Sean and I will go over what have you been playing, and that's about a 10-minute segment where we talk about what Nintendo games we've been playing over the past week. Then we get into our major headline for the week. This week, Zelda delay, fair or foul, and of course we're going to touch up on the NX release date, all the other stuff from the investor meeting, and then we go into the lightning round, which is where we take 10-15 minutes of Q&A. You guys can toss up your topics, do your questions. Most of you already know the drill, so let's get into making fun of each other. Sean, I hear you're
Yo.
eating a lot of hot dogs these days.
Yeah. So we had free hot dogs at my day job for Customer Appreciation Day. So I went and ate two, of course, even though I was off. And then today when I came into work, it was mad hot dogs left over. So I ate one for breakfast, three for lunch, and I ate two for dinner.
That sounds like a sausage fest up in your face.
I mean, this is free hot dogs. You don't turn down free hot dogs.
No, you don't. And yes, last week I was complaining on this stupid haircut, and I really, really don't like how it's growing out.
It's bad, dude. Just shave it.
I look like part monk, part shithead. I don't like it. All right. So before we get into the major headline, you want to talk about EG? Nope. We're gonna be talking about what we've been playing because that's what I just said we were doing. What have you been playing last week?
On Nintendo stuff, nothing.
Ah, getting your
Yeah,
PS4 warmed up. What is there to
yeah,
play on Wii U's these days?
yeah, exactly.
Ouch.
Fucking, I've got Pokemon Rumble World came in, and I'm trying to psych myself up to play it, and review it, but it's Pokemon and toys and stuff, and I could give two shits. But we're gonna do a fair and biased review, and unbiased. I mean. And I did play a little more Paranautical Activity because I am almost done with that review. That should be finished tonight, and then should have it up tomorrow. Eh. And I played some more Sega 3D Classics because Power Drift is just addicting. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of PS4 Tomb Raider because that's an amazing game, and Alien Isolation. Because it's really fun, actually. It's a really good stealth game, and I haven't played a really good stealth game in a long time. So I've been enjoying those two pretty much. But other than that, I mean, just retro shit. I mean, I played a bunch of N64 shit because I did on the side channel, I did a N64 Hidden Gems, and I just wanted to kind of brush up on my knowledge of a couple of the games. Body Harvest. Everyone should buy Body Harvest for the N64. It's one of the best games ever, and no one fucking talks about it.
Now, is it still a side channel when you make more content there than you do here?
Well, it's different because I don't have to do like production shit. Like my most popular video is me sitting there talking for 12 minutes and people like it for some reason. So we're kind of we're kind of going away from those sort of videos here. Better production and shit, and we both know I am terrible at production.
It's about personality, not just production. Remember, I used to be all production, no personality, and vice versa. But
It still
anyways,
still really hasn't changed.
not that much. Um, I haven't been playing much. I think my Wii U is gonna get very lonely over the next few months. But I picked up my new 3DS because lots to do there. I was actually playing some Hyrule Warrior Legends just before coming on the podcast. I was actually curious about Linkle's story because I kind of left that game down a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
and so I only got to play one level as Linkle. But I'm happy to say I've now unlocked the second level. Haven't played it yet, but I'm curious to see what they do with that story because that is the new content in Hyrule Warriors Legends. So that's pretty much all I'm playing. Other than
That's a
that,
that's a fun game.
it
I,
is.
I liked it.
It is. I have to be careful because I get addicted to Hyrule Warriors, and it just takes a lot of my time. It's not good. Especially if I start like dabbling in the adventure maps. Oh boy, there goes 6, 7 hours a day.
Right.
But yeah, last week wasn't a good. It wasn't a good week to be gaming. For those who don't know, as we said earlier, Enthusiast Gaming put on EGLX, the Enthusiast Gaming Live Expo here in Toronto, Canada, and it was a huge success. Better than I was expecting. It was a 3-day expo celebrating all of gaming. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we had indie developers there, we had exhibitors, we had vendors, huge esports tournaments. I know Sunday we had two of our streams on the front page of Twitch, including the Smash Melee
Over
finals.
32,000 people were watching.
Oh, it hit over 40,000 on the
Oh, did
Smash
it?
Melee, and it hit over 40,000 on the Hearthstone finals. We had a huge Hearthstone stage set up, which was like all medieval and stuff. So that got a lot of attention. I don't know if you can hear, I've pretty much lost my voice over the weekend from just shouting at crowds and having, I had an old lady yell at me. I didn't like that. We had a VR expo, and that got filled up a lot more than we thought. There was huge lineups for that. The whole hall was packed with people. There were families, kids, everything. Everyone was having a good time though. The feedback was really positive. Everyone had a lot of fun. We had some old arcade cabinets there. We had YouTubers there. We had Twitch streamers. We had just about everything you can think of that is gaming. What is success for Canadian standards? That's a good question.
They made
Uh,
$4. We get paid, baby.
Um, I don't know the financial side of it yet, but like just to say that we have packed halls at a Canadian gaming event is big. Thousands of gamers together. Like we don't have that in Canada. We don't have the PAXs here, and that's what we're trying to build. And I think we're very well off to catching up to the US's economy of gaming cons.
Well, I mean, for a first year, for the turnout and the, all eyes on the scene or whatever. I mean, you know, yeah, for the first time doing it, like a legit one, I from what I've seen and heard and whatnot, it went way better than I thought it would go. I mean, because at the end of the day, we're part of a business, so a lot was kind of riding on this being successful. So a lot of people were nervous. A lot of people were kind of banking on it and hoping that it would be good. And I think it exceeded a lot of expectations. So it'll be interesting to see the business side of things. But I would imagine that pretty much everyone on the business end, investors and whatnot, would have to be pleased. I mean,
Yeah, I think everybody was pretty happy. Like I said, the general consensus was very positive. All of the um, people who are writing about us, all the media that was there, are all doing really good stuff. We had all the top Smash players were all there. I know there was a crew from Red Bull that was there. I think they were following like Leffen. Leffen is a big Smash player who was over at EGLX, first time in North America in like over a year facing off against the Smash gods. So that was a big story there. So there was actually, yeah, there was a lot of stuff. Also, lots of retro games. We had a retro zone. You would have liked that,
mm,
where you could play pretty much. How long was it? 8, 16, 24, I think. 24 feet tables, two of them. Just with retro consoles and games that you could play, like Duck Hunt. You had, I think there was a like a Star Wars game, Rogue One, Rogue Squadron, I think, for the
oh yeah,
N64. There was a
yeah,
Star
yeah,
Wars N64 game there. There was a lot. There was NES, Star Wars. I don't know. There was a lot. Oh yeah, so they had all of like the Star Wars game, including what's it called? Is it Battlefront that just came out?
yeah.
Yeah, so like you had like the really HD graphics right next to like the original NES Star Wars, which was pretty cool. You had a lot of contrast there. Exactly. Hashtag free Leffen. It's interesting because I'm not that big into the Smash esports scene, but EGLX, the whole story that was around this with the whole free Leffen thing, actually got me interested. It was a very, very interesting narrative for me. I thought it was
I don't
interesting.
I don't know anything because I don't follow esports.
Yeah, neither did I, but this story was cool. So like you've got like these Smash gods in Melee, right? So it's like five or six of the top players who are pretty much not undefeated, but they're recognized as the best players in Smash. And then there's
Like
this guy over,
Mango and
yeah,
Hungry
Mango,
God and
Hungry
yeah.
Box, yeah, those guys, Armada. And then there's this guy in Europe who's called Leffen, and he's kind of what they call the villain, and he's pretty much shown that he can beat all the gods. So people are saying that he's pretty much the best Smash player. Now the problem is because of visa issues, he hasn't been able to come over to the US for the past year to compete against the gods. So it was kind of like the no one had seen these matchups anymore for over a year. And I don't know the details. This is just very high level from a casual. But EGLX was his return to the scene here, and having all the gods there, like all the matchups were happening again, and people were really curious to see if Leffen would basically go on to defeat all the gods again and just, take the title. But unfortunately, he made it to the finals, but he lost to Duck, I believe.
Ah,
Um,
Duck, the
so
legend.
the legend. It was funny hearing the whole crowd quack. But yeah, he blamed it. If you check out his Twitter, he was blaming himself, saying like he was just out of the scene and wasn't playing well. But he's going to be back for another huge Canadian tournament next month called Get on My Level, and it's going to give him a chance to kind of do a comeback. So interesting story there. Oh, Armada's from Europe too. See, I didn't know that. But yeah, there you go. So now let's get into the big Nintendo
Go
investor
on.
meeting. I'm very happy that on our last episode of Class vs. Crass, we did our E3 predictions because had we not done that then, there's really no point in predicting anything from this point on because it's going to be, sounds like it's going to be a very disappointing E3. Um, one game at E3 that will be playable, which is Zelda. Who knows what they're going to announce, if anything, because the NX is coming March 2017. So are they just going to hold off and not talk about it until maybe like the fall? That would make sense. It sounds like Nintendo's going to be very quiet at E3. What do you think about that?
It's stupid. It's so stupid because E3, look, okay, you don't care about E3. I don't care about, I mean, you care about E3. I don't care about E3. Um, Everyone in this chat room probably doesn't give two shits about E3, but there's a whole nother side of the world.
I think
See, E3 isn't about the gaming industry. It's not about the gaming world, although that's what's transpiring there. It's not about that. It's about mainstream publicity. That's the whole reason E3 is a thing anymore because there's better cons out there. There's better events out there. There's more interesting things out there. But no, it's all about glitz glamour and all the big press sites. So you're going to have all these big press sites covering nothing.
well,
Nothing.
nothing Nintendo anyway. Well,
That's the whole point. Like E3 is not a big deal to be there. The digital presentations, the quirky shit they did for the past 2 years, fine. That's fine. You don't have to be there in full force. But there, okay, look at it like this. Look at how much stock they put into that Nintendo World Championship shit last year. Okay,
yeah,
like how it was a big production, all this stuff. Because then, because what did it get? It got front page news, and New York Times was talking about it, the Huffington Post, all these places were talking about the Nintendo World Championships coming back because it's the only time that these mainstream outlets really give a shit about video games because everyone is looking at video games. And now you're coming with nothing. You have literally nothing. One game.
I think though Zelda, you know,
No, it's a dick tease anyways because you don't get it till 2017. It completely goes against everything Nintendo has done the past two
do
E3s.
you know
It
how
completely goes against.
do you know how long Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time were teased? What are you doing over
That
there?
is different. I'm talking about in recent memory, in the past two Nintendo E3s. What was their focus on? Shit that was coming out that year.
Just last year
No, the year before.
they went.
What do they show that didn't come out that year in 2014?
Yoshi's Woolly World, Mario
It came
Maker,
out in Europe. Came out.
Splatoon.
Splatoon was already out.
Okay, no, last year, yes, they did what you said. In 2014, when they had the big Smash event, at that one they had Smash, they had Bayonetta 2, and they had Hyrule Warriors, which came out. But then they also had Yoshi's Woolly World, they had Mario Maker, and they had Splatoon, which didn't come out until the year after.
Oh yeah, you're right. But
Hmm.
still, you're still showing stuff that came out, which is not
Well,
the case this year.
no, they're not. I mean, the depending on what Zelda, I fucking hate seeing myself so much right now. I hate this.
Look
But
at that hair. Look at that stupid hair.
just gonna, there we go.
Get a hat.
I have a hat now. Zelda is the kind of game I think though that can carry a show floor. And I know it's not saying like it's one game. It's not it sucks whatever way you look at it, but Zelda will make headlines.
Of course it will, but it's one game for a console that they've essentially killed and a console they haven't said shit about.
Yep.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not, and it's very sad. I'm just trying to create some conversation. Otherwise, we're just going to be hating on Nintendo for the next
It's
hour.
not hating. See, that's the thing. Uh, People like my video that I made last week talking about the situation and my opinion on it. People gave it so much hate and so many dislikes. And it's like, why? What did I say that was factually incorrect? What did I say that was, that was not true? And maybe it hurts.
You
Maybe
know,
it hurts to realize that the Wii U is essentially dead this year. Maybe it hurts to realize that you're not going to get any good AAA titles for the Wii U until the NX comes out. Maybe that hurts. I understand that. But that doesn't mean you just fucking take it on the chin and go, oh, it's okay. We got this huge backlog of games. Bullshit. Okay, not everyone has just picked up a Wii U in the past year. I've had mine since launch day, since before Nintendo Enthusiast. Okay, I've had mine since launch day. I've played every major release. I want new stuff.
yep.
So maybe I'm a minority, but I don't give a shit. I'm still going to say what I want to say because I know that there are other people that are the exact same way.
Yep, I think it's the first time the both of us have declared, and I haven't declared it, but I'm declaring it now, that the Wii U is officially dead.
It's dead.
Like we've defended it for the past 3 years,
And that's fine.
properly
I,
because we had good reason to.
and I'm not saying it's a bad console. I'm not saying anything about the history of it. I'm actually gonna do a positive Wii U video,
Let's
pretty
find the
soon.
positives.
Um, who's that? Um, but I mean, you have to call a spade a spade.
Mm.
It's dead. It's dead. The next big release after Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE, which I don't consider to be a big release, but it'll have a small market. Um, is March 2017, maybe.
No, you got Paper Mario.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. Okay, Paper Mario. Paper Mario.
That's a big concern. If they're saying Paper Mario is coming out this summer and it's not even playable at E3, why? Is it that bad? Why wouldn't you? Is it just nothing can stand in the wake of Zelda U? Like, I don't understand that. Why wouldn't you have Paper Mario? Because they went out of their way to announce it. And even in the direct, it was very low key. It was like, blah, blah, blah. Hey, new Wii U game. Blah, blah, blah. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, it's obvious that they're putting a lot on the 3DS this year, and that's fine. But the thing is, like, the 3DS has never the 3DS needed something like this one time, and that was when it came out. Because it came out, it was overpriced, and people weren't buying it. So if there was one time to make a strong push on the 3DS, it was 2011. Okay, we're
Mm-hmm.
5 years removed from that, and you're still putting all your stock in the 3DS. I understand the 3DS is selling better, has sold better, has more, you know, has more of a marketplace, and there's more you could do. It doesn't cost as much to develop games for it, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, you have killed your home console.
Yes. Now let's zoom out a bit and look at the big picture. And last year Nintendo went through new management, new CEO. The Wii U has been a struggle. Everybody knows that. Uh, it started off with a drought, and it had a good year, and then it had a great year, then it had a good year, and then it's just been struggling. And it really looks like the company has just acknowledged, like, look, the Wii U is a lost cause. Let's leave it be. It was a good console, it had good stuff, but it's not going to go anywhere in its current state. Let's consolidate our losses and place our bets on the NX. And if they're doing this right, yes, the Wii U is dead and all that. And sometimes you have to take a loss, you lose a battle, win a war, right? Yeah. So if they like what they just said in an interview a few days ago was the NX was launching in March, not before the holidays, so that they could have a solid software lineup. And like Akia's video said, if they are gearing to have an unprecedented amount of new or of their IPs launching with the NX, wait, did you do what? What's going on over there? Yeah, you're stroking it. All right. Um,
Because I have something against this as well.
you have
But
something against that? That's good. Interesting. Like this could put Nintendo coming out that strong, and if they can keep a momentum like that, I think it could carry them on, and we'll forget about this terrible end of 2016.
oh my Jesus Christ! It's May. It's May.
Second
We're
half of
not even midway through the
2016.
year, and you're talking about forget 2016.
You got
Get out!
you got your Star Fox.
It's
You,
out.
yeah, yeah, you got it. That's what I'm saying. So you got half of 2016. You got half a game year.
Am I supposed to just play that the rest of the year?
Yep, get all the golden medals.
Well, this is a great time for Indie Corner to come out of hibernation because that's all that there is to talk about anymore.
Well, I was thinking of that because Indie Corner was a product of the Wii U drought, and now we're going back into an even worse drought. But I don't even think the indies are coming in force to support the Wii U like they were 2 years ago.
Well, you saw RC Maniacs, that casino slots game. There's technical issues. It's going to the NX now.
Really? I don't know. But
Okay, yeah.
so
So let me fight you on this.
fight,
Um,
fight,
so your whole thing is because that's a twofold statement what you actually made
and
because
that is the strong IPs at the launch of NX is what you're.
what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Because that also signifies that, which we haven't discussed, the NX has an official release of March 2017. So before I get into the unprecedented lineup at launch, let me first get into March 2017.
Hmm.
Terrible idea. Terrible idea. And anyone who has fought me on this will lose because it is a terrible idea because you're going up against. I understand that I believe it was the PS2 launched before holiday. I mean, launched in the springtime. And of course, that went on to be one of the most successful, if not the most successful, consoles of all time. But
Hmm.
there's a difference. There's a big difference because the PlayStation 2 still came out relatively close to both the Xbox and the GameCube. So there wasn't a huge, and the GameCube was different than what some gamers wanted, and the Xbox was brand new, so not a lot of people knew about it.
Hmm.
So PlayStation was already an established brand. Nintendo is also an established brand, but in this situation I've given you, there's a huge difference. The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are now 2 years into their life cycle.
Hmm.
So you're not going in at the same time. You're not going in anywhere near the same time. So you're already at a disadvantage. Second, Nintendo has gone on record as saying that 80% of their sales come from holiday sales.
Hmm.
So you're skipping the holiday to release in March to ensure that you have a good software lineup. Okay, so why can't you launch in November? What are you going to exactly do in 4 months? If you know anything about creating games, you realize that 4 months is nothing. That is essentially what it takes to, go gold, start printing copies and whatnot. Maybe 2 months still. So let's say 2 months. What exactly are you going to do in those 2 months that you couldn't do now? Because you're not creating Wii U games. You're not. So you're obviously all focused on the NX. So what exactly is 2 months going to do for you? I don't care. I understand the tax refunds thing.
It's the
That's
same tax.
bullshit.
It's the same. Like their end of year is March, right?
Yes.
So tax has
It's to
nothing
get
to
it
do.
out.
Ooh, you are.
It's to get it out before the end of the fiscal year. But for some reason, we're skipping the holiday, which is then, let's face it, it would sell the most to ensure that there are enough games at launch. Okay, so I've already dissected that and nailed it to the cross. Let me talk about having the game lineup. So, what exactly are you going to do? Are you going to do a reverse on the Wii U where you came out super weak and blew your load in 2014? You're just going to blow your load at the start? Because a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to get this franchise and this franchise and this franchise. But do you really want that? I don't think you would want that
As a consumer?
as a consumer, because oh, Jesus Christ, you're releasing essentially a $300 console, a $300+ console in March when people are not. Yeah, we talk to people north. I see you. I replied to your comment about the smoking a cigarette. Um, you're launching a $300 plus console in March and expecting people to go out and buy a bunch of games for it, but we don't know what the games are. We don't know anything about the console yet because you don't want to talk about it yet. But we're less than a year removed from literally 10 months away from the release of the console. But we know nothing about it. We know nothing about the games about it aside from Zelda, which we still don't know anything about the Wii U version. And we still don't know if this is a traditional home console, if it's a hybrid console. You're not going to discuss it at E3, which is the biggest show floor in the world for essentially games. So let's bump it up another month. So in June, you're not going to know shit. It's in the middle of June. So more than likely, the earliest you will know anything is July, 8 months before the console comes out. What the fuck?
Jeez, you almost yelled your way into disconnection there.
Oh my God. Like,
No.
look, man, I love Nintendo, okay? That's why I do what I do. But you can't just accept it and you can't justify it because let's face it, more of what I'm saying is probably true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what you're saying is so true that it hurts. The only reason, like you say, that what could they do in 4 months is really that they have no software ready. Like they won't have any software ready for the holidays. That's the only reason I could see that delay till March, which would be going against getting that unprecedented launch lineup for the NX. And that's a scary thought.
And the other weird thing I think is that what happened to the launch window? Essentially, when a console comes out, everything within the first 3 to 4 months is considered a launch title because that's the launch window. So I don't understand, you know, like taking that into effect. All because it comes out in March doesn't necessarily mean that all these titles are going to be ready in March. Maybe they'll be ready in the summer, which once again is not the best time to be releasing your biggest heavy hitters. I don't know. I don't like the timing because of history and
Hmm.
because of what I've seen following the gaming industry, either as a consumer or a writer or a YouTuber for the past 27 years. Like,
Yep. No, and you're right too about the lineup. Even if it is an unprecedented line, what's going on? Um, you're right. Who's going to go and dole out $300 plus for a console and then have to choose between five? Like, let's say they put out five must-own titles for the NX. How does that play? Okay, now you have the choice. Let's say if you of what IP you want to get into, but like Nintendo fans will want to have all of them, and no one's going to be able, not no one, but most people won't be able to afford all of them. Like if you're getting a new console, you pretty much just need one game. That's all you need at launch. One good, one great game, and they have that. It's Zelda. And then you just got to follow that up with another game 2, 3 months from then. And then you just keep that combo going so that people have the time to actually get more money to buy their games, and you're keeping interest in the console because there's always something to look forward to.
well, I mean, like, what was the big? Look at the Wii, which was Nintendo's most successful console in recent history. What was the big title on there? Zelda and Red Steel. That's what everyone bought. Those
Yep.
were two games, and everyone bought those games.
I don't think Red Steel was that successful.
No, it was.
Was it? I
What
don't
are you
recall it
talking?
being a big seller. I'm looking up right now the sales of it.
I'm looking it up faster.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh,
Point
it wasn't
six,
really.
680,000 worldwide.
But launch week it sold 113,000 copies, and then people realized it wasn't a great game.
Well, that's because it was promising. Motion controls were new. People weren't hating on them yet because we hadn't tried them. It's like, oh, cool. I remember what like everybody wanted to pretend that they were wielding a sword, and that's what Red Steel promised. It's like, yeah, you can hack your enemies because it's a one-to-one motion. And then you try it, it's like, oh, I could just wiggle it and things happen.
Right.
Um, and then Red
Plus,
Steel 2,
it wasn't a great game.
it really wasn't. It was a good concept. It was just, I don't know, could have been better. Um, I don't know. I was just it was very devastating to hear the news from the investor meeting last week. For both Sean and I, when we both woke up, like as people who create content for a website called Nintendo Enthusiast, we create videos for it. It was a little demoralizing because it's like, well, what do we talk about? What do we have to look forward to? What is there to really like? It's just like Nintendo just gave in and just went whoop. But of course, we say they're setting themselves up for something, but we've been saying that for what now? A year and a half of, oh, they're setting it up. That's why it's not this. And it's funny because if you look at exactly a year ago, Sean put out a video of Nintendo's E3 is going to be huge, and he dissects everything that could be coming out at E3. And then, of course, we got that very mediocre E3. And then we've just kind of been getting all of this mediocre stuff, and then we got Mitomo, and now we got this. It's just, oh, it's a very scary and strange time to be a Nintendo fan, and I don't. But enough of that. We haven't gone to the main meat of the topic, which is Zelda being delayed. Because is that fair or not? Do you think Zelda delay is because they just want to match the NX? Do you think Zelda is actually finished right now and it can go on the Wii U and it's good to go? It's 100% complete. Um,
Today, no, I don't think it's ready.
by the holiday though.
Yes, yes. So it's done by the holidays. Period.
I agree with
And
you.
it's a very strange decision because a lot of people are saying, um, a lot of people retorted to me that one of the main issues would be that the Wii U would cannibalize potential NX sales. Bullshit.
Agreed.
Because this has happened once before, and with the GameCube and the Wii, and that didn't mess with anything. Although they came out, I think the GameCube may have come out like a week or two early. But aside from that, the main point I would like to bring up is Super Smash Brothers. Super Smash Brothers released on the 3DS way, a couple months. I wouldn't say way before, a couple months. I believe it was 2 or 3 months
We had,
before the Wii.
there was an out,
Before the huh?
there was an outcry on that, if you
There was an
remember.
outcry that it would cannibalize Wii U sales and of the game. And what happened? They both sold like fucking gangbusters. So you've had two instances where you've simultaneously launched a Wii U or a Zelda game on two systems, and that both went fine. You also have you have what's not stagnated, stanced. It begins with an S. Launch of a Smash Brothers game
Superb.
on no, like a
Staggered.
staggered. There you go. On a system, the 3DS, which has a larger install base and sells more software usually than the Wii U, and both versions did fine.
Hmm.
So it's bullshit. Honestly, it's not fair. And I
It's
mean,
not
I'm not
fair.
saying like a little kid, it's not fair. But I mean, it's
Let's
a
call a
slap.
spade a spade.
Let's call
You're
a spade a
saying it
spade.
like a little kid. It's not fair.
It's a stupid situation that doesn't need to be there.
Yep.
And a lot of people are saying, I swear to fuck, if I see that stupid fucking quote one more time, a bad game is bad forever, but a delayed game is good for good, or whatever. Get the fuck out of here, man. I could sit here and list a million games that have been in development hell that ended up not being good. That is not what this situation is about. This situation is about Nintendo not wanting to stagger the release dates and not wanting to really bring any sort of attention to the Wii U this holiday season
Yep.
because they want all eyes on the NX. And that's what it is. And anyone who says anything different is lying to themselves.
Yep. I agree with you. They're going to be shooting themselves in their foot. I don't know. Like
The site
up
isn't
to a
called
few.
Nintendo Fanboy. It's called Nintendo Enthusiast. The end.
Know the difference.
Know the difference. We need new graphics. God
Yeah,
almighty.
we gotta push that tagline more too.
Know the
That was
difference.
marketing genius.
It
Like,
was, and then we let it die.
yeah, it's a shame. I came up with it, by the way. But yeah, like just a few months ago, they're like, "Yep, Zelda U 2016, absolutely." Like they went out of their way to confirm 2016, and I don't know what happened. Like I would love to be a fly on the wall in the Nintendo offices to know what's going on there because it's mind-boggling. It's we can't even predict what they're doing. And also another thing now, so you got Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing IPs coming to mobile, that was unexpected. I didn't think that they would touch their major IPs yet to go to mobile. I thought they would have stuck more with the Mii's and done things like Mitomo,
One I think is fine. One I think is asinine.
which is you think Animal Crossing's good, Fire Emblem's bad.
Yes.
I think both could work very well on a mobile.
Go on.
Animal Crossing, I think we agree. It's the type of game that works really well on mobile that you can go in, you can check your thing, you can do your little daily quest, and you can build your house and do your Farmville stuff. It's it just works well, and that's that's from being a spectator to Animal Crossing because there's nothing about that series that has lured me into it yet. Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem, I got the feel like, especially with Fire Emblem Fates, I was already feeling like strokes of mobile. Like there was DLC. You had the whole castle defense system where your friends could come visit your castle and try to invade it. You had all these aspects that are often found in as a staple of mobile gaming. And you know that was reinforcing my belief that Nintendo was experimenting with mobile models, as you can see from all the Pokemon games that came out, not the mainstream ones, those other ones. Um, Triforce Heroes was another one where you had a lot of like mobile elements to it, and then Fire Emblem Fates. So if the mobile version of Fire Emblem is really just a turn-based game where you just play levels and there's no story, I know it's not the traditional Fire Emblem, but you're still bringing some gameplay in that universe. I think it can work. Why do you think it can't?
It's Fire Emblem. It it hardly. I mean, the last one sold well on the 3DS because RPG fans owed a 3DS. Because if you want RPGs, you own a 3DS.
Hmm.
There hasn't been a home console version of Fire Emblem since the Wii
Yep.
because in Nintendo's mind, it doesn't sell well enough for whatever reason, which is bullshit, but is what it is. So now you're going to move it to a mobile market, which, for all intents and purposes, let's call a spade,
Mm,
is casual as hell. They don't want to play. These are the idiots that bought a Wii to play Wii Sports and then never did anything else with it.
right. But
So no, Fire Emblem is terrible. It's no one's gonna want that. Who is gonna want? Who is gonna be sitting there playing their 3DS like, fuck, man, I really need that Fire Emblem on mobile. My life is just not complete. Like,
because
come
maybe you're
on.
thinking too traditionally. Don't think it's going to be a full Fire Emblem package like you're used to. Remember, the mobile strategy is all about getting that casual audience in. And now, how many people are playing? What's that one strategy game? Um, what is it? Castle
Crashers,
No, not Castle Crasher. It's a mobile
Clash of
game.
Clans.
Yeah, that.
It's not a Fire Emblem though.
It
Fire Emblem.
no, it's
If
not, but it there's a lot of those kinds of games, Clash of Clans that are strategy based and like just
dumbed down to hell.
yeah, it is dumbed down to hell, but just strip that down to its core elements, paint it with Fire Emblem IP, send that out. It's gonna get 2 million downloads, and then people are like, oh, it's Fire Emblem. Oh, cool. There's this whole library. Whoa, there's more depth in these games. Whoa, I'm gonna go buy a handheld and a console, and Nintendo just
Fire
made
Emblem
them.
is not an attractive franchise
Why
to
not?
people who aren't. I'm talking about from a character and visual standpoint. It's not an attractive franchise to people. People did not play. Okay, you know why Fire Emblem was successful? Because
Because
every
of
Fire
Smash
Emblem
Brothers.
game. No, well, yeah, that helped. But every Fire Emblem game that came out before the last one was always a step behind graphically to what a game should have looked like. But nobody gave two shits because the gameplay was just on point. It was like, okay, this gameplay is amazing. So you're saying to take out the gameplay, which is what makes the series great, and hope that Ike and Marth and whoever fucking else is in the Fire Emblem universe is going to sell it? Ugh, man, that's a stretch. Animal Crossing will be fine. They also said that Animal Crossing will connect with with a few or an Animal Crossing console version, which I think is interesting, or an Animal Crossing installment for traditional stuff. So I highly doubt that's New Leaf, just because of how old New Leaf is. So you would think that that may signify a new Animal Crossing, probably for the NX. But that was one of the more interesting things out of that.
That's
But
interesting.
I do want to say something real quick, because a lot of people
You say a lot of
are
things.
blaming Kimishima
Go
for
for it.
what's going on, and saying that he's being like Bernie Stolar with the Sega situation.
Hmm. Take your puff. Let it out.
I don't think that's fair, because you have to remember Bernie Stolar created his situation. Kimishima did not create his situation. Kimishima was essentially put into the situation. God rest his soul, Mr. Iwata essentially made this situation. And when Kimishima took over, he decided that they did not need to go necessarily in this direction. You have to remember things like quality of life were being a strong emphasis, and things like that. Kimishima is definitely more on the business side of things, and that's why you're seeing different things happening. Whereas Awada, at the end of the day, was more on the gamer side. Now, I'm not saying either side is necessarily right or wrong. It's just a huge difference in philosophies. That's why you're seeing things like a restructuring going on, where different branches of Nintendo are actually going to have more power now. So things like Nintendo of America will have more of an executive decision thing. And within, I think the time frame was 9 months, they can appoint people to certain positions, and if those people are not doing what they feel needs to be done, they can be removed. So it's a lot more business with Nintendo right now, and that pretty much goes against how the company has been, let's say, the past decade. So it's a big change, and that is why you're seeing the death of the Wii U, because Kimishima, as a businessman, does not see the Wii U as a profitable venture, because it's not. It's not profitable right now. Only, software sales essentially keep that thing alive. The only reason Nintendo isn't losing money hand over fist right now is because of the 3DS.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to kind of clear that. That's a bit of a misconception, I think, and it sucks because a lot of people will blame Kimishima because of, this is his tenure in office. He's running the show right now, and all these things are happening.
Yep.
Well,
I'm
I
with.
defend him when he just said, "When what can you do in 4 months of extra dev time?" See, that's mm, you kind of have me there, but once again, it's not a gamer decision; it's a business decision. And
Yeah.
I don't understand that business decision, as I've said. Jason doesn't understand that business as that thing, as he said.
As a viewer on the
But
outside.
we're not in that business. So you kind of have to now, in March, in retrospect, then of course we can say, this was a good decision or a bad decision. But unfortunately, until it happened, I could say that it's stupid. I could say I don't agree with it, but I'm also not the one running a multi-billion-dollar video game empire.
Hmm. And things always change. Like the standards we've come to know now haven't always been there, especially when you start studying the past 30 years of gaming. A lot of the trends we've seen, like the whole E3 holiday lineups and typical console launches, are pretty similar only in the last 10 years. One thing I'm seeing a lot more comparisons with console developers or publishers is they're being compared more and more to Samsung and Apple, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't necessarily like that because people are saying, oh, well, consoles should come out every year just like a new phone, which I don't agree with that. I don't think that's right. And then people are saying, well, look at Apple. They always do their big announcements in the fall or in the spring, and then you can get the new products shortly after, right? A lot of new iPhones are going to be either announced in October, March, and then you can pick them up 5 months from there. So maybe that's why consoles are going. I really hope not. We can definitely see that the whole industry is changing as a whole, and I hope it's for the better, but we won't know until we get there.
The Apple situation is just but one of the most terrible analogies in the entire world. And I don't understand. The video game market is not the cell phone market.
No.
It never has been. It never will be. Mobile gaming is a separate entity than the video game industry, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yep.
So to compare something that, like, I had a piece of shit phone for many years, and then I got an iPhone 6 because it was like $20 with a plan.
Hmm.
That's the only reason I upgraded. And there are many people like me who use a phone to check the internet, watch stupid YouTube videos, and look at naked pictures of people. Like, that's what I use the phone for.
Didn't
I'm
you
not.
specify
I'm not.
gender, says people.
Well, I didn't want to. I mean, because women look at guys or women, but don't fuck you. Um. Uh. That's my train of thought of. Fuck mobile. Mobile and video game console. It's not inappropriate because a cell phone, a video game console is an investment, because when you buy a cell phone, you buy a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about extra shit with your cell phone. You have your cell phone. And if it costs $600, it costs $600. A video game console is literally a block. And until you have software for that block, then it's pointless.
Yep. All right. We ready for lightning round?
Lightning round! Jason's tired, and I'm tired too.
No, it's not that we're tired. It's that you've been talking for a long time, and it's 10 minutes at the end of the show. So this is where we're supposed to be interacting more. So lightning round. This is the part where, hey, Sean, you haven't disconnected yet. I like that. This is the part where the chat, you guys can toss up your topics, your opinions, your questions, and we're gonna take that up here and talk about it. So, what do you guys think? Zelda, does anybody think this is fair that it was delayed till March? Do you think that's actually a good idea? Do you think Nintendo is lost and they don't know where they're going? Do you believe Nintendo's going to make a resurgence in the market and, I don't know, topple Sony or Microsoft? Do you think that they're just going to stand off in their corner, kind of like what they did with the Wii? Let us know in the
Well,
chat.
Microsoft is a much easier target because as much as in disarray as Nintendo appears to be in right now, they clearly have somewhat of a plan. We don't see that plan. We don't know shit about that plan, but they have a plan. Microsoft has no plan. They don't know what they're doing right now. They're trying to figure out, well, are we Xbox One or are we Windows based? Are we going to do focus on PC or are we going to focus on Xbox One? Well, let's just make games that work for both, and then maybe PlayStation will want to do cross-platform play with us because there's more people that have bought that, but maybe not. So let's not get too invested in that. Like, oh, and HoloLens. Don't forget about HoloLens. Like,
HoloLens looks cool, yeah. I know, they're a little lost right now. It's a
they're
shame.
a little lost.
But yeah, they had some good exclusives going for a while, so they can keep doing that. So hey guys, Project X Zone has been removed from the 3DS eShop in both North America and Europe. Your thoughts on this?
It's not a great game, so you're not really missing out on much. I mean, it's
Mm,
it's, it's okay. I have it. I have the collector's edition. Because I thought it would be a lot cooler, but it's weird. I don't understand why, but
yeah. Um, as Sean says, do you expect Nintendo to at least tease something NX, or will they leave us hanging? I
I'm assuming you mean at E3, and I think they'll leave you hanging.
50%, yeah. I think if they don't do it at E3, they're gonna do it in the fall at some kind of special Nintendo conference of some sort. I don't think it's gonna be a Nintendo Direct to announce a new console. And maybe that's what they're trying to figure out because they abandoned the E3 stage and they probably don't want to go back. Um, so maybe they're trying to think of a clever way to to show off the NX. Because yeah,
Um,
they don't do press releases anymore. Like they don't do press conferences. So
no. What do you think of the whole Modern Warfare remaster being only bundled with Infinity Warfare? There's gonna be a lot of used copies of Infinity Warfare at GameStop quickly after release.
What do you
I'm trying to fucking weasel a copy out of someone. Jesus Lord.
what do you think about HVD disc format for NX? I have no thoughts on it. Sean?
No real thoughts on it.
Sucks, but Zelda will be beast, says the Fuzz dude. Modern Warfare, you got it.
Do you think we'll see Galaxy 3 on the NX? I think that might be a launch title, honestly. It's a good because it's safe because it's Mario, and it's good because the Galaxy, the Galaxy engine really pushed the Wii. So obviously it's a more graphically intensive game as opposed to something like New Super Mario Brothers U, which looked like an HD Wii game essentially. So
Yeah. Um, I hope we see another Galaxy. I also feel like we might see a Mario game at launch. And I would like to see them return more to Galaxy than Mario 3D World. Both were great games. I just feel that Galaxy offered an experience that was just amazing. 10 out of 10 game.
um, if Nintendo kills Wii U, it'll be harmful in the long term. It's dead. You can't talk about something that might happen when it's already happened. The best thing you can hope for is a Wii U price drop, so that maybe some developers will release something, because Nintendo sure as hell isn't.
hmm
I thought I saw something about uh, Fire Emblem NX. I mean,
Oh, right, that was a good topic. Because you said that we might see Animal Crossing, because we see it on mobile, it's probably going to be there at launch on the NX. I think that's interesting because the fact that we're seeing Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing on mobile, and the fact that the NX is supposed to be a whole environment, suggests that we're going to get something Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing at launch with NX.
yeah, it'll be a new Fire Emblem 3DS DLC pack. Um,
Probably.
will I be picking up No Man's Sky for PS4 next month? I believe that's a $60 game, and Sean does not spend $60 on a game. Do you think NX will be Zelda NX will be graphically superior? Of course it will. That's another thing. The Zelda NX is going to be the superior version. So
Absolutely.
why would I, as a Wii U owner and potentially an NX owner, want the Wii U version?
Right.
So why not staggered it? Like, oh my god, it's so stupid.
Agreed.
Do you think the NX will beat the Wii U or the GameCube? It kind of has to. If it doesn't, then stupid.
Ken
Do I
knows,
really
yeah.
want to hurt you, Jerps? Of course I do. Um, oh God. I saw something. Oh, you get out of here. Do you think it'll be worth taking a week off at E3? So no, go to work. I'm not even. Look, every year, even though I haven't gone to E3, I always
Wow.
take off the Nintendo Press Day because that's my time to shine. I do like 20 news stories and like the whole presentation, and then I need like cigarettes and like a million sodas. I'm not taking the day off because there's no reason for me to take the day off. I might as well work at my job because I can watch the Zelda 30-minute presentation trailer when I get home and enjoy it and be like, oh, cool. It would have been great if this came out this year.
Now, COD or Cold Dark, if you listen to me, I say do take some days off because even though the Nintendo thing might be a little blah, there's going to be some fun discussion in the whole industry, lots of things to look at, and it's just going to be distracting to work, especially if you have an office job. Just chill at
That
home, get caught up.
I don't care. I don't care enough because I'm not invested in my PS4. I want cheap games. That's all I bought are cheap games. Nothing has been full priced, and I will
And
never
you
buy
should
anything
change
full
your
price.
YouTube name to Cheapo285. El Cheapo285.
What up, Matthew?
Pikmin Skyrim. That'd be cool.
I hope Retro Studios are working on F Zero. Mm.
Mm.
Hold your breath. I would not.
There's so much that could be done. A lot of new IPs like Splatoon. I want to see more creativity like that. I want to see some IPs going into new territories, of course. I think Star Fox Zero was a great example of taking an IP in the right direction. Like I said, I wanted to see more of Star Fox Zero, like more DLC, more levels. So if they can do that with their other IPs and polish them off, reboot them if necessary, and let them grow, I'm all for
Um,
that.
NX versus PS4, NX versus 4K. 4K gaming is not relevant right now in 2016 or 2017. Not enough people, not just because not enough people own a 4K TV, but because you have to have a high ass end PC to run games smoothly in 4K. No home console is going to be that. The 4.5K is not, if it comes to be, I don't think it's going to be what you think it is, because developers are already crippled on it. Because if you make you can't make a game solely for that. You can make a game that takes advantage of that, but your game has to be applicable to the standard PS4. So why, as a developer, would I use extra time, resources, money, and development costs on something that a fraction of the user base is going to have? Perfect example: the new 3DS versus the 3DS. It's the perfect example, because how many games do you have on your new 3DS? You have The Binding of Isaac, you have Xenoblade
Xenoblade.
Chronicles 3D, and you have Hyrule Warriors Legends, which runs better on the 3DS, on the new 3DS. Two of those games are Nintendo made, so unless Sony is going to be ponying the bill to make that shit, it ain't gonna happen.
Sure. Um, there was a good, yeah, Cold Dark puts a good point of Game Explain making a 17-hour analysis video, a 30-minute Zelda presentation. So there's gonna be
No,
that
of
to look
course,
forward to. You should definitely take a day off to look at that because they
because I sure as hell won't be doing that.
no, we won't. We won't.
Because flags, flags, flags.
What, copyright flags?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, we already think there will be, or at least I do. Luigi's Mansion NX. Maybe
I don't think so. I think we're gonna see Luigi's
eventually.
Mansion stay on the handheld side. Although the NX, who knows? I don't even know what it is anymore. Oh, it's
Okay.
gonna be a Triforce of Wii U, 3DS, NX, but now all of a sudden it's like, hey, by the way, the Wii U just died. So what happened to this pillar, the three pillars of holding it all together? It's
Oh yeah, the ecosystem.
the ecosystem just booted the Wii U and said we don't
Remember,
need you.
remember, kids. Listen to everything Nintendo says and
So if
take it
anyone
to
in
heart.
life, if anyone in life tells you you're part of the ecosystem, that means they're gonna kick you out soon.
Run, run. Um, yeah, thank you, people in here, for having a brain about 4K gaming. Jesus Christ, you people are the real MVPs. We might have lost some subs the day I put up my video asking what the fuck Nintendo was doing, but you people are the people that are should be on this channel.
The sky is blue in Zelda NX. Why we think it's the right move. Game explained. 2 hours. I love it.
They're not bad guys,
They're
but
not, but
they
it's
are
fun to
kind of.
tease people. I mean, everybody has their bad side. I'm sure people laugh at us for whatever our quirks are.
I
The
mean, we
sky.
have we have someone that I have picked on a good bit that's actually going to be joining us soon.
Yeah, we can say who that is.
The
We're
the
gonna have
man.
we're gonna have
We're
a
gonna
lot of fun of that podcast.
we're gonna have hype hats on, baby. That's all I'm gonna say. Hype hats will be worn.
We're gonna have hive hats. We're gonna have some what is going on, everybody. It's gonna be fun in here.
Okay, you could have, if you looked
No,
into hype
no, I
hats,
gotta
there would
drop
be
it.
some mystery. There
Everybody
would
knows.
be some mystery.
Anybody knows. All right, we
Do you
good to
think?
wrap this up? What?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think Wii U ports to NX is a good idea? Be very selective and have them at budget prices, $40, and you will. Okay, Jesus Christ, not Aaron Kasharsky. Um, and you'll be fine.
All right. Anything else you want to cover? You talked a
No,
lot in the last half.
I've been talking a lot. I chugged too much soda.
A little excited, eh?
Eh. All right,
Think about all those wieners you had today.
shut
All
up.
right. Thanks everybody for joining us on this week's Class vs. Crass Nintendo podcast. Of course, it's been always great talking with you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. It is Mother's Day next Sunday, which I almost forgot about. So I don't know if we're gonna be here or if we're gonna be with our mothers. Um,
Mine lives in Florida, so I'll be doing nothing. So
Mine also lives far away, so I don't know if I'm gonna go see her. But if not, we'll be here, and if we're gonna give our mother some love, then we're not gonna be here. But we'll see you guys soon. Until
I
then,
might
keep.
give your mother some love though.
Of
So
course you will.
watch your moms. Watch your moms. Okay.
Did you just say that really? So just keep it classy until then, or as Sean would say, watch your mothers. Or
Watch your mothers. Watch your mothers. That's all I gotta say.
all right, we were asked to do a duet on sign off. How about you? I don't sing well, but I can hum. Do you
Um,
want to do like a Zelda sign off, like we do the Zelda theme? I do the backdrop, you do the front. We do some din din
no,
din 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 din. Din. No,
no. What about? How can we be lovers if we can't be
I
friends?
don't even know that song.
It's Michael Bolton. How can we start over when the fighting never ends, baby?
No,
All I want to
no, no. We need a better song.
do. I don't know.
Is this the real
There
life?
is
Some Bohemian
there
Rhapsody? I can do some Bohemian Rhapsody.
there is a song called Mother's Day by Blink 182.
Oh, I used to love Blink 182 when they were relevant, but I didn't know that song.
I'll be fucking and sucking and touching, fucking and sucking and touching, fucking and sucking and touching. It's Mother's Day.
Sorry, guys.
That's
I
how the
can't.
whole
I can't.
song.
I can't work
That,
with this guy, guys. Sorry.
that's how the song went. That's how it went. It's called Mother's Day. Mother's Day is next week. It's perfect.
Yeah, you're gonna. Whoop. What happened? I changed something. No, we need a better song. I can do Bohemian Rhapsody. You want to join me on
Okay.
that?
Yeah, that's fine.
You starting out?
No, you started out.
All right. Is this
This
the real
real life,
life, or is
or is
this just
just fantasy?
fantasy?
Okay, that's enough.
Cause
Just end this.
all
Put
right.
this dog out of its misery.
Sorry, guys. I was onto something there, but Sean didn't want to join me.